Okay, I'd like to call the Mentor City Council regular meeting for September 16th, 2025 to order. Tonight's invocation will be given by Councilperson Krieger.
Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this day. Help us to use good judgment for the business at hand and guide us in wisdom with a continuing sense of truth and fairness for the community we represent.
Hey, Julie, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Krieger?
Here.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Here.
Mr. Marne?
Here.
Mr. Blake?
Here.
Mr. Donovan?
Here.
Mrs. Dowling? Here. Mr. Kirschner?
Here.
Okay. Before we get started tonight, I'd like to ask everybody to stand for a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Charlie was assassinated last week in Utah. He was a man of faith, family, and life. But also, as we remember Charlie, we must also remember the children killed and injured while praying at the Church of the Annunciation in Minneapolis, and the children injured at Evergreen High School. It's also fitting to remember Irina Zarutska, murdered on a train in Charlotte, North Carolina. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you all. Okay, moving on. Approval of minutes. Council, you're in receipt of the September 2nd, 2025 work session.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Abstain.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Council, you also in receipt of the September 2nd, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Moving on to public hearings. Tonight we have one. Ordinance number 25-0-086.
An ordinance declaring permanent parcels located in the city of Mentor within the Old Village Commercial Corridor, the same being permanent parcel number 16B 0490000060, 007, 008, 009, and 025, to be economically distressed as defined by Section 1137.10 of the Codified Ordinances, approving pursuant to Section 3.09B of the Charter and Section 1158.03C of the Codified Ordinances, a planned infill development overlay for these parcels and declaring an emergency.
So this public hearing is now called to order and is being held pursuant to notice duly published and posted according to law. So I think first we will turn to our law director for guidance on this.
Yes, again, this is what has been called the Uptown Project. Persons are familiar at the intersection of Little Mountain and Jackson and Route 20. We sometimes, for those of us who've been around for 50 years, we refer to it as the Mentor Hardware block. The old Mentor Hardware building is not being affected. But immediately to the west of that, in that same stretch along the northerly side of Route 20, are a number of old single-story commercial buildings. And I don't think it's editorializing to say they've seen better days, and we've actually had them in enforcement for purposes of nuisance abatement, and that's public record. So the current owner acquired them for purposes of redevelopment. Council for the past 3 years have been working with very closely with them and other stakeholders to try to bring forward a mixed-use redevelopment on that. Some years ago, the voters of Mentor amended the charter to allow a mixed-use overlay zone where we've got commercial or industrially zoned property that is economically distressed. That allows a project of this nature to move forward. Again, just for the public, it would be ground floor commercial, some retail, perhaps restaurants, things of that nature, and then the upper floors would be residential rental units. So I think, as council has publicly expressed, exciting project for the city. This ordinance then does two things. One, it formally declares these parcels economically distressed. That then allows council, if it chooses, to move forward, then concurrently allowing for the overlay zoning, which would then allow the project to move forward as a mixed-use commercial residential structure.
Thank you, Joe. Ken, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I think Mr. Zeman did a very good job of summarizing the project and why it's important. I mean, we really do look at this project as transformative in the Old Village District. As has been stated, the dilapidated condition of these buildings it should be obvious to any Mentor resident or visitor. They are subject to a hearing should that be necessary if this project doesn't go forward, whereby the city would be asking for condemnation of those and removal of those. There is environmental contamination on the site that would be remediated as a part of this project, as well as the fact that at least for the last several decades, there have been no functional purpose for those buildings, and they are functionally obsolete. So I think this, by anyone's definition, clearly meets the definition of economically distressed, and we look forward to additional investment in that part of the Old Village, which has been lacking for a long time.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Right, this being a public hearing, I'm going to throw it open to the public. Anybody wishing to speak in favor of this ordinance, please come forward. Hearing and seeing none. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? And I think there is one person who'd like to speak on this. Jake? That ring a bell? Is it not this ord? Okay, that's one a couple in the way. That looked like a 6 there. All right. All right, sorry about that. We'll rattle your chain later. All right, so if nobody wishing to speak in opposition, council, you're in receipt of any and all correspondence received pertaining to this matter. And at this time, the public hearing is adjourned. We will take this up again in a few more minutes. Moving on, tabled legislation, we have none. New legislation, ordinance number 25-0-087.
An ordinance to revise the codified ordinances of the City of Mentor, December 2006, as amended by adopting current replacement pages and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Nothing to add to this, Mr. President.
Okay. Oh, actually, Ken, I should have gone to Joe. I thought this was the financial one. Joe?
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. Members of council, standard housekeeping. This codifies some of your code changes that are not based on Ohio statutes, but probably more material is our periodic harmonization of our traffic and general offenses codes with changes to state law. You've got a summary of these amendments. Again, most of them I would generally characterize as housekeeping. Nothing's being made illegal that's currently lawful. So again, if there's any specific questions, I'm certainly happy to answer them. But again, overall, I recommend passage in order to harmonize our code with state statute.
Thank you, Joe.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes. Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 25-0-087 has been approved. Next is ordinance number 25-0-088.
An ordinance repealing Part 7, Chapter 752 of the codified ordinances of the City of Mentor 2006 as amended, reenacting, amending, revising, and enacting for codification purposes new Chapter 752 related to short-term rentals of the codified ordinances of the City of Mentor and declaring an emergency.
Joe, this time I'm going to come to you first.
Yes, current Chapter 752, council is aware, contains a business regulation which completely prohibits short-term rentals in the city of Mentor. Upon prior referral from this council to the Planning Commission, they worked through potential amendments to Chapter 752 whereby there would be a licensing scheme so that a limited number of short-term permits, up to 8 per ward, could be issued, subject to additional substantive regulations. And so this is therefore before you upon recommendation of the Planning Commission. Because the changes were such that you couldn't really do a strike-through of current 752, this is presented to you as a repeal of existing 752 and a replacement with the text in front of you. So that's a little bit procedural in terms of the form that this is taking. So this would effectively be a brand-new Chapter 752. Thank you, sir.
And Ken, do you have anything you'd like to
Yeah,
add?
thank you, Mr. President, and the elements within this ordinance are taken from input from City Council at your work sessions, as well as a lot of the heavy lifting that's been done by our planning director and her staff. So I'll ask Mrs. Cantanzariti to offer some comments, please.
Certainly happy to answer any questions. I think to echo Mr. Flipiak's comments, this draft was presented to you back in May at a work session, and we took the comments that were made to heart with regard to capacity limits and so forth. So we've provided a formula for determining that, and also a rationale that is a separate document to help you understand, help the public understand the rationale for putting together that formula and the basis for putting a cap on the proposed types of short-term rentals within particular districts. It is also specified under Section 75203 that it is restricted to specific districts, which namely are the R2, R3, and R4. And again, this was reviewed and recommended by the Planning Commission at their August meeting, and happy to answer any specific questions as to the nature of the regulations as presented. I will only add one more thing, and that is the inspection process would mirror what we currently have, except the only difference being that this would be done every year as opposed to once every 2 years, which is what long-term rentals do allow for. So everything else would abide by the current regulations that are in place under the building code with regard to inspection and
And if I could add to that, Mr. President, that, the goals behind putting this together, again, taken from input from our council, was listening to the desire of this body to have, should you move forward with any changes to this, is to have responsible operation of these facilities, as well as a good licensing procedure and an inspection procedure in place so that we can have good oversight to make sure that the restrictions and the requirements that are put in place would be followed, and that we have some teeth in it in the event that they were not. So it also puts some responsibilities on those, I'll call them online outlets, the companies that would host the sites, and which are mostly web-based, to be able to require information to be provided by them as well. So we think we have something that would work should you desire to move this forward, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Jake, I think it's your turn now. You'd please come up to the podium, give us your name and your address.
My name is Jake Bolanek, 8681 Hendricks Road here in Mentor. Good evening, Council. I'd first like to thank the Administration and Planning Commission for putting together an extremely thought-out regulation plan for short-term rentals. They understood that Mentor is not Cleveland nor Columbus, but still saw a need to create regulations that look to encourage small businesses and ensure city residents' concerns are heard and monitored. The main question still remains, though: should short-term rentals be allowed? I've attended and watched every single council and planning meeting in the last year, and I've yet to hear any factual information that should not allow short-term rentals. I've heard a lot of opinions. Well, there could be building pools, there could be party houses, there could be noise ordinances. That's a what-if situation, a lot of opinions. What you may not know is short-term rentals have been active in Menor for the last 10 years. They may not be as many as today, but they have been around and they have been flourishing. And yet, as of now, you haven't heard any complaints or concerns. So why is it an issue now? Why are we looking to either ban these, outlaw these, or potentially regulate them? The administration has also said that there are roughly 20 short-term rentals active in Menor as of now. What I haven't heard is that these numbers and addresses were provided by a Menor resident to all of you sitting in front of me today, including police and fire calls for the last 3 years. Of these last 3 years, only 10 of these addresses have had any sort of call related to police and fire that range from periodic checks to assists. There was only one property that was not a short-term rental at the time that had a increase of call volume. People have asked me, would I want to live next to a short-term rental? Answer simply, why not? Sure. And the fact of the matter is, I've lived next to one for a year and a half. I had no issues. In fact, the other side of me was a long-term rental, which I can say I regret living next to a long-term rental. The reason being, in short-term rental industry, there's a process for booking homes. There's a review system for both the landlord and the guest. If the landlord has a rating of a 4.5 or less, they don't get bookings because the house is not well taken care of, the guests are not taken care of, it's not a good property. And these systems are out of 5 stars. The guests also have a rating system, and if the guest has less than a 4.5 rating system and they reach out to a landlord to request a stay, that stay is usually denied because majority of these landlords that operate these houses in Menor, they reside in Menor. They care about the residents, they care about the home of Menor and the area. We don't want to bring the wrong type of people into Menor that could destroy our properties and ruin the neighbors nearby. While I was living next to this short-term rental for a year and a half, it was a great experience because a landscaper was there every week to maintain the property. The outside of the home was in immaculate shape. The yard was taken care of. The guests were quiet and usually kind or kept to themselves. And heck, they even bought honey from the nearby neighbor and supported his small business. The neighbor surrounding the property even came here a year ago today to speak in front of council and say how they supported living next to a short-term rental business. So don't take my word for it. Take it from residents who actively live next to short-term rentals. So when you say, maybe it'll be bad, maybe it won't, where is this information coming from? We've had actual evidence for 10 years that have been proven to be fine. And for some reason without warrant, now is a problem. Why? The people that come to these properties, they come for hospital visits, to visit family, maybe your own family. A lot of you I've talked to in the past, you've used Airbnbs and Verbos. Why have you used them? To travel, to visit? What was your purpose? And think of the same purpose people use those to visit homes in our city of Menor. It's a great city. We need to expand and allow others into our homes. The people employed to maintain these houses are local contractors, landscapers, cleaners, carpenters, contractors, snow removals, etc. They give back to the community. They hire small businesses right here in Menor, and you'd be denying those businesses this extra income that they deserve. Change is scary. It's the unknown. But as leaders, you need to listen to those concerns, but you need to review the facts. The facts show that there isn't a problem. For 10 years, short-term rentals have been operating successfully in the city. And they've been proven to be better than long-term rentals because of the review and background checks they have to go through. Be a leader. I encourage you, today's decision, if you allow with regulations or not, make a decision not based on opinion, but based on facts, and lead us into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Is there anybody else who would like to speak on this ordinance? Okay. Council,
Move to suspend.
Before I second, question for the law director, Mr. President. Mr. Zeman, so the ordinance originally was a different number because we passed that last year, correct?
The ordinance number, it's still Chapter 752 of the codified ordinances, though.
Ordinance, okay. So by doing this, how are we repealing what was passed, which outlawed all verbos, short-term rentals or anything like this, and then reallocating or putting this back, overlaying it?
Right. It repeals Chapter 752 in its entirety and reenacts what you have in front of you, and as part of this ordinance, a brand-new Chapter 752.
Okay, we could do that in one motion, not two separate motions.
Yes, the one ordinance can accomplish both of those results because it is a single subject and it doesn't violate the single subject rule.
The reason why I bring it up is this is the last time that this ordinance came in front of us, it was a little bit difficult to understand. And it was so comprehensive, you couldn't do anything. So I just want to make sure that we have this clear cut so everyone can understand it for the people that own the short-term rentals and want to utilize them. So if you say we could do it all at once, I second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Krieger.
No.
Mr. Pinkerman.
Yes.
Mr. Marne.
Yes.
Mr. Blake.
Yes.
Mr. Donovan.
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling.
No.
Mr. Kirchner.
Yes.
Okay. So ordinance number 25-0-088 will be on for a second reading in 2 weeks because it has not gained enough support to move on to a vote. Right? Am I right? Correct. That's right. So we did not suspend the rule.
Mr. President, I think we moved to suspend. On-
Right. We
Wasn't
moved to
that a move to
suspend.
suspend?
And we didn't get enough votes to suspend the rule.
Correct.
So it will be on for a second reading, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So ordinance number 25-0-088 will be read again for a second time at our next meeting. Moving on, resolution number 25-R-115.
A resolution declaring estimated assessments for the construction of certain sidewalks in Zone 1D and 1E associated with the 2023 pedestrian safety program in the city of Mentor, ratifying and confirming publications, and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Mr. President, Mr.
Sidewalks.
Swigger, please.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. The city's sidewalk contractor, A&J Cement Contractors, has recently completed repairs of sidewalks in Zone 1D and 1E, and these are two zones located in Ward 1 between Mentor Avenue, State Route 84, Little Mountain Road, and the Concord Township line. Approximately 1,200 slabs of sidewalk were replaced through the assessment process on 446 properties, with the cost of construction being approximately $325,000. A typical 5x5, 4-inch thick concrete slab costs $275 to replace this year as compared to approximately $240 last year. An additional cost of approximately $25 per property for administrative costs of mailing and advertising is added to the estimated cost of assessment for each property owner. And the total cost of the assessed portion of the work, including construction, administrative costs, and interest, comes to approximately $370,000. This legislation is a resolution per the High Revised Code declaring the estimated assessments for the construction of sidewalks over the 446 parcels as shown in Exhibit A. Upon council approval of this resolution, a notice will be published in the News Herald for 3 consecutive weeks as required by the ORC. The notice will state that the list of assessments is on file in the city engineer's office and is open for inspection by the public. Property owners will have 2 weeks after the notice of publication ends in the News Herald to file objections to the cost of assessment with the clerk of council. Any objections to the cost of assessments, once they have been resolved, a final assessment ordinance will be prepared and submitted to city council for approval. Thank you.
Counsel?
Move to suspend.
Second?
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Move to approve.
Second?
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 25-R-115 has been approved. Moving on to second reading, we have ordinance number 25-0-086.
An ordinance declaring permanent parcels located in the city of Mentor within the Old Village Commercial Corridor, the same being permanent parcel number 16B 0490-000060, 007, 008, 009, and 025, to be economically distressed as defined by Section 1137.10 of the codified ordinances, approving pursuant to Section 3.09B of the Charter and Section 1158.03C of the codified ordinances, a planned infill development overlay for these parcels and declaring an emergency.
Okay, anybody have anything else come to mind before we vote on this? Council?
Move to suspend.
Second?
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes. Move to approve.
Second?
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Okay, ordinance number 25-0-086 has been approved. And moving on, third readings, we have none. Ken, manager's report, the highlight of the evening.
I don't know about that, but thank you, Mr. President. I should point out, I think Mr. Sikora is in the room here with us
Oh, I
today,
was-
and
I
think
glanced at him.
And it's been a long, heavy lift for a
Like
very long time.
5
but we're
years.
Very pleased to see this finally moving in the right direction, so
Right.
thanks for all his involvement as well. So council, and the 2025 Headlands Birding Festival will take place from September 19th through the 21st at Headlands Beach State Park and other locations within the city. The event celebrates the fall migration of bird species traveling to their wintering grounds, some as far away as South America. And you can learn more about the festival at www.headlandsbirdingfestival.com. The Lake County Solid Waste District will be conducting a special collection of hazardous waste on Saturday, September 20th, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Lake County Fairgrounds. That's located at 1301 Menor Avenue. Lake County residents can drop off various cleaners, chemicals, lights, batteries, paints, paint products, other finishes, propane tanks, kerosene, mercury. Those are just some examples, but for a complete list and for prohibited items, and to learn more about where the drop-off points are, you can visit the Lake County Utilities Solid Waste Division webpage or call them at 440-350-2644. City of Mentor manages a street tree program to promote the beautification of our streetscapes and also to help with stormwater runoff. We plant hundreds of trees in the city each year. And these trees are available free of charge to Mentor residents to be planted on a first-come, first-served basis within our right-of-way. All trees are delivered and installed by city personnel. So to learn more about the street tree program, you can seek out the Residents tab on the City of Mentor's website. We'd also like to remind the public that the City of Mentor is always looking for great people to join our team. In fact, we have dozens of full-time, part-time, and temporary and seasonal positions to fill right now, and you can learn more about that at workformentor.com. On Monday, August 18th, this is a kind of an interesting story, I think, worth mentioning, Council, but on the August 18th, we had a male resident collapse on the softball field right across from Station 5 here while playing a game, and a gentleman named Dave Conant of Solon, Ohio, and Ricky Liddington of Mentor realized that he was in cardiac arrest and began performing CPR as our units arrived. And once they did, they began to provide advanced care. The patient recovered well and was actually discharged from the hospital 7 days later, and our fire department, just presented a letter of accommodation to Mr. Conant this weekend at the City of Solon Community Center with the cardiac survivor there, as well as a Solon fire captain who actually provided the CPR lessons to the softball team at a previous date. So I mention this because it's a great story, but it's also a reminder that we offer the same training to private organizations throughout the city and on a regular basis through our fire and EMS education program, and just how important that can be. And Chief Zach, you were just telling us this this morning about several organizations, several companies in town where some of the same training has taken place. So we encourage the private sector to reach out to us, because you never know when that life you need to have saved might be your own. So, also, Council, the Mentor Police Department is launching our very first Citizens Police Academy. This is a free, hands-on, behind-the-scenes look at law enforcement. Participants will gain insight into patrol, investigations, and specialty units. They'll experience hands-on training and demonstration and learn the different ways our police department serves the community. The program runs from October 13th through November 24th. The sessions last from 2 to 3 hours, and there is no cost to the program. You can get on our website at the police department to apply, and there are some vacancies available still. And then also, Council, a public meeting will be held on Wednesday, October 1st, from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Springbrook Garden House as part of the Mentor's 2025 Comprehensive Land Use Plan Update process. Participants will have the opportunity to review and provide input on specific land use models being considered for future housing and commercial development in the city. This meeting is open to all Mentor residents, and participation is strongly encouraged. Springbrook Garden House is located at 6776 Heisley Road in Mentor, and I believe this is the final public meeting for this process. So we had one earlier. It was pretty well attended. We encourage all residents who care about the future development of the city to make their voices heard. And then finally, Council, I have 2 new businesses to announce. Cornerstone Caregiving at 7482 Center Street, and Hannah's Harbor at 8664 Lakeshore Boulevard. And so we thank them for their investment in our city and wish them great luck going forward. That's all.
Right. Ken, thank you for sharing that story about the CPR on the ball field. 'Cause I could tell you, I'm in the medical field, and there is no greater feeling than bringing somebody back to life. But you have to be trained how to do it.
Right.
And that's where our fire department and, just learning that skill. You don't know when you're going to be called upon in a split second. But once you bring somebody back to life, you feel like a new person. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, moving on, clerk's correspondence.
Council's in receipt of the Mentor Municipal Court month-end report for August of 2025, and that is all.
Right. Commission committee reports. Council, you were in receipt of the meeting minutes of the Board of Building and Zoning Appeals dated August 12th, 2025. Also, the Municipal Planning Commission dated August 14th, 2025. Council, old business. New business.
Mr. President, I'd like
Yes.
to just start a conversation as far as, in my ward, in certain sections, Wood Hills section, we've had a sanitary smell going on for quite a while now. Actually, end of this month, it'll be 1 year since we've involved the Lake County Sanitary Department to look into this, and we still don't have any resolution to it. And obviously, the residents in that area are pretty upset about it. The Ohio EPA's been involved, the Lake Health Department's been involved, and still no resolution to what's causing this odor, and the people are getting pretty upset, and I don't blame them. They spent the whole summer basically inside because the smell was so strong. We all on council have received some of the emails from the residents down there. The administration has, I've sent forward some of them to Senator Serino. I don't know where we go from this to try and get an answer as to what's causing this. Obviously, it's the utility department for the Lake County commissioners to solve this, but maybe it's time we should get an outside company to take a look at it, since they can't find the source. They've shedded it, they've lined the things, they did a lot of tests. And one thing I haven't got back, and hopefully was supposedly there was a manufacturer of some chemical that could be put into the system to diffuse the smell. And last I heard, they were waiting for instructions from that manufacturer on how to go about doing that. I have not heard anything back on that at all. I know city manager's got a call in to Mr. Rosenberger, that heads up the utility department, but not to this date, we can't figure it out. And they've tried a number of things, but I don't know where we go from here.
Ken?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Krieger, and certainly appreciate the concern. I mean, I know that the residents in that neighborhood are growing impatient. We have had several meetings and discussions. I know as council has, we even had a county commissioner out there with Councilman Krieger at one point. I think they earnestly want to find the problem, they just haven't yet, and they have devoted some reasonable amount of resources to it. We know what the problem is, it's sewage, but we can't figure out what that source is. So they're looking at a number of options, and we're gonna stay on top of them with that. I would not be opposed to bring in outside resources if we felt that that would provide some assistance to the county. So I will follow up with Mr. Roethlisberger tomorrow. We kind of exchanged some calls today, but they've been pretty good about communication. We do encourage our residents to, when they experience the odor, to call that into a time and date. And I think Mr. Krieger pointed this out today, and it was a good suggestion, so that we can make known a specific phone number or email address where they can call that in. So we'll provide that. We'll spread that to the people that live in that neighborhood who are on top of this, and try to encourage that, because time and that may help them pinpoint a source at a moment in time. It's helpful with other utilities, and we think it would be potentially for this, because this very likely is some non-point source that we haven't been able, or that the county hasn't been able to identify yet. Of course, I think we always like to point out that we grow impatient because it's not our utility, it's not the city's utility, it's the county's utility, and I think they do a good job of operating it. And sometimes these things are really just take a lot of time to figure out, but I know that they'll stay on top of it, and we'll make sure that they do.
I just want to point out, though, that at the end of this month, it's 1 year. And, I mean, maybe another party should have been brought in already. Apparently, the utility department is not capable of finding this, and maybe has to get an outside source to determine what is causing this. And obviously, the frustration I have is nothing compared to the residents down there. They keep wanting to know, what are we doing? What is the city doing about it? And, there's only so many times you can tell them, well, it's the county and it's the utility department for Lake County that's responsible for this. They don't want to hear that anymore. They want results, and I think rather sooner than later. Thank you.
So Ken, this is a problem of pinpointing where
It is.
this odor is coming from. And, from the emails we've received, from time to time, it's quite strong, where people become nauseated.
Yeah.
And it
I would
seems
think-
localized at different points in time, too, in particular areas, like particular sanitary manholes. So it's,
I mean, if it's that strong, it should be pinpointable. Do we have any contractors that we work with that we could possibly hire to pinpoint this? I mean, once it's pinpointed, then a remedy can be put in place. But,
it really is that simple, but it's just not that simple. This is a 3-mile stretch of sanitary that goes through a lot of neighborhoods.
right?
In speaking with the utilities folks, they are not experiencing this, to the best of their knowledge, at least no one has called it in, along any other stretch of that other than within this neighborhood in Mentor. So that tells you a couple of things. It's either some source that we haven't identified, or I should say they haven't identified, that's more localized, or it may be some blockage in the system. But I think Mr. Krieger pointed out, they've flushed this system out. Just 3 years ago, the entire system was relined. So it really shouldn't be experiencing anything like that at this point. So it really is a challenge in terms of offering up contractors. I think the first thing I would point out is it's not our system, so we don't have the liberty to just begin doing things without their consent. And we wouldn't want to do that because they are the experts on their system, and I think they are earnestly trying to find this problem. I think that we can just offer our assistance if that's helpful, but we'll stay on top of it.
I don't know, I'm not an engineer, but I would think that if you put out methane sniffers in different locations, you know, you're gonna get particles per, particles
Parts per billion.
1,000 or whatever. And, you know, I think, you know, to John's frustration, this is a problem that should be able to be detected, and once the source is located, remedied. We shouldn't have residents who are nauseated in their homes. And, you know, if the county sewer department can't handle it, I think we need to figure out a way to pinpoint it ourselves. My 2 cents. Okay, thank you, Ken. Alrighty, so moving on, well, actually, is there any other new business? No? All right, persons before council. First up is Al Michaels. Mr. Michaels, if you'd like to come up to the podium, give us your name, address, and realize that you have 4 minutes.
Good evening, City Council, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for permission to come forward. As you're aware, Lorraine has passed an ordinance now to hold parents responsible for anybody younger than 18 breaking the law and doing damage to property. And I wholeheartedly recommend that you guys consider that. Just today, I was notified about a couple of young men that broke into a library and set the place on fire. Then they came back and spray painted it. $75,000 worth of damage. If we hold the parents responsible for what these kids do, it doesn't cost the taxpayers or the city any money, or any of the school systems. So I'll leave that to you guys, but this is just a recommendation, and hopefully you'll pass it like Lorraine did, and if the kids break the law, they have to live with it. And one comment about the sewer system that's backing up. I'm not a sewer engineer, I'm a network engineer. But what I'm thinking is if it's 3 miles and you've got pipes that are coming off the main line, maybe that's where it is. There may be a dead rodent or something like that that's inside that line that's causing the aroma, especially if people are getting nauseated. So it may be finding where that line goes, tracking it to whatever buildings to go in, and flushing it from that way into the main line, and then flushing the whole system out. Thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Michaels, could you give us your address?
Oh, I'm sorry. 7384 South Chestnut Commons Drive, right behind Lake Catholic High School.
Thank you. Okay. Second up, Elaine Foster.
Evening, Council. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I want to commend all of you, though, first and foremost, before I get started, about the pausing for prayer and remembering what's going on in our world today. It's good to see that God is included here. Thank you for that. As you know, I'm here again, like I am every year, and in defense of the nuisance animal statutes and laws that we have, primarily for the deer. I was around when you first made them a nuisance animal. It's been at least 10 to 12, maybe longer, years ago that they were placed on that list. And with the hunting and the culling that's been going on over all those years, I just wonder, do they ever come off? Not to be, do they ever come off of that row of death and annihilation, especially when there's neighborhoods, housing developments being made left and right in the city of Mentor. Construction at the Civic Center took out so much wooded area, and that's going on all over the city. And it's a wonder that they have anywhere to go. And when you talk about, things for me, it's things I pray about, actually, along with people. The world doesn't just include people. And I have a very strong passion for this. I have tried to reach one of the members of the city to get information on it myself. I put 3 phone calls in the last week and a half, received no response, no phone call back. And if anybody could tell me who to contact to see where we're at with this year's calling program, the locations of where they're going to be calling, that would be greatly appreciated because nobody's contacting me anymore. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Council, I think that's a wrap.
Move to adjourn.
Second.